Candice Glover just shut it down, baby. She shut it down. Hey fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertantonnyc, coming to you with your no-frills American Idol commentary from a singer. I had another opening I was gonna do, but let me tell you, Candice Glover just did her thing on her last song. Let me tell you, oh my God, I'm almost embarrassed to give out the link of me doing the cover, but I am gonna give it to you later, and it's gonna be down in the description box. So let's get started. We started out with Burnell getting a standing ovation and not being saved by the judges, while Candice, Mariah, and Amber bawled their eyes out. And they were replaying this from the other night. Did he kiss Amber? Did Burnell kiss Amber in that little flick? I think he did on the lips. Go ahead on, brother. Nikki was also crying and giving him advice, while Keith said, make a record and he'll go buy it. Best send-off ever. Congratulations, Burnell. And Lazaro said he's confident that he'll be in the top 5. Oh, really? Oh my God, it lives. They've created a monster. So tonight there were two themes, the Burt, Bacharach, Hal David songbook and songs I wish I'd written. And we got clips of something people might not know about the top 6, and Angie and her friends do crazy videos on YouTube, so we got to look up those videos and see what they do. She said they don't have a lot of followers or anything like that, where they will soon. Round 1 started with the catalog for Burt, Bacharach, and Hal David. Angie Miller came up first, doing Anyone Who Had a Heart, and this was a little too precise in the opening for me. Not a lot of passion. I don't know if this showcased her well, because it was coming off very musical theater, minus the drama. I mean, you know, sometimes you can see musical theater songs and they're very, but they're still like, you know, giving you all this drama going, and she wasn't giving me any of that. Her voice was okay, but also devoid of feeling, it seems for me. Seems like she didn't really connect emotionally with the words. Keith said she has such a great voice, but she shouldn't rely on it alone, and she was lacking passion and missing humanity. Randy told her she needs to understand the lyric and find the passion in it. Mariah touched on her perfect enunciation and said she needs to basically dirty it up a little bit, that it's a little bit too clean. Ryan announced that American Idol was inducted to the National Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Congratulations. I told you I'm gonna keep using that, right? Then Amber Holcomb did a Say a Little Prayer, and Amber seems to connect to everything she does, and this was no different. She was sweet and demure while being sexy and sounding flawless. Loved the way she strutted the stage, and it really popped when she finally came in with some Amberism. She did some little runs and stuff in the bridge, because she'd been keeping it pretty straight, you know, early on in the song, so that was a very nice little flourish that she did. Nikki called her favorite girl in the competition. Randy said the competition just started. Mariah said she loved what she did and talked about her making the bridge her own, while Keith said she never overperforms. Then Ryan spoke to Sir Anthony Hopkins in the audience, and Lazaro Arbos sang Close to You. Now, I was trying to give Lazaro a chance, right? And he was definitely working hard to do well on this song. He started with a nice tone and related well to the camera. It just seemed to be keyed wrong to me. It was too low for him, and he missed the key change altogether. When it went up a little bit, he stayed in the same key. I wrote poor kid. It wasn't a train wreck, but was the weakest vocal so far tonight, and it ended up being the weakest vocal of the whole night. Randy said it was horrible and called it his worst ever on the show. Mariah said the powers that be on the show have reprimanded her for being too nice, and mentioned him missing the key change, and then ran it on, and the audience was silent the whole time. I think they were trying to follow what she was saying and stuff, but they didn't boo or anything, because they knew what was going on. It was just bad. Keith told him the key was way too low for him to start, and he was singing sharp the whole time. And for once, Nikki skipped her comment, because she said we'd be here all night. Thank you, girl. Kree Harrison was up next with What the World Needs Now, and she started out a cappella, no music, good pitch, really nice. This could have been pretty boring, but she made it a little sexy and even gave us a key change to keep our ears involved, and it ended before I started snoozing. So, like, you know, she really anticipated that it wasn't the most exciting song in the world, so she did her thing, bam, 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 and got out of there, and it worked very well. Mariah said she loved the arrangement and it was perfect for her voice. Keith said he could feel her real genuine compassion when she sings. Nikki said her voice was sweet and humble and yet hella cocky, and predicted she'd be performing at the Country Music Awards this year and next year, or next year and the year after. I forget which one it is. Janelle Arthur performed next. She did I'll Never Fall in Love Again. And Janelle fit this right into her wheelhouse and handled all the little melodic passages very well. This was sweet and melancholy, though I don't think she totally captured the sad message of the song until the very end. And even then she was still smiling through it, and it didn't quite fit with the text in my opinion. Keith said we see a different side of her every week, and he thought it was very good. Nikki said this performance was boring. Randy said it was lackluster and wasn't her best. Then Candice Glover came up with Don't Make Me Over. And I wasn't crazy about the clunkiness of the opening chorus, and this was a little slow and not quite in the pocket for me. Not sure if it wanted to be a ballad or a foxtrot, but Candice's vocal was stellar, and as always, especially when she got to the more intense part, she was just really sailing and really knocked it out of the park. 3 judges stood for her, not Mariah. Nikki said it didn't seem old-fashioned and it was exquisite. Randy said it was the best vocal of the night so far. Mariah said she took a classic and made it current. Keith said she set the bar really high and had moved into his top 3. If you enjoyed the commentary so far, please make sure to thumb it up, Let me know that you're enjoying it. Let me keep me motivated, keep my brother motivated, okay, to do the business that needs to be done. But I am so excited to bring this to you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Round 2 was them singing songs that they wish they had written. Angie Miller started out with Love Came Down by Kari Jobe, and she started out at the piano with an obscure song and was working the camera through her piano cover. You know, the cover was just tipped up and she was looking through it like this. Go girl, you better go and work that camera. This was much better and felt more emotionally connected than her first song. She had several big moments to wail away on this. A good fit for her voice. Randy and Keith both stood for her. Randy said he loved this and she tapped into the emotion. Mariah said she never loses when she's at the piano and it was perfect. Nikki said this is the only time she'll be remembered at the top of the pack and admonished her not to stray from what works and what the other girls can't do. And I really connected with Nikki on this because she has something special when she's at that piano. When she, and it's a lot like that with musicians who really play. When you can feel the music coming through the piano when you're playing there. And even, I don't play very well, but even when I'm sitting there and I'm plunking out chords, sometimes I will feel the emotion of a chord and be able to sing something that I wouldn't be able to sing just standing up, you know, singing through it. So a lot of times when I have to work on new music, I have to work on something that I really have to bring something to it, I try to sit down and play the chords out because I feel out so many little things that would not have happened if I had not done it that way. And that is something she really needs to do every single time. Even if she doesn't play the piano, if she at least sits and plays through it for herself and finds those special little moments, and that should help her when she stands up to sing it. Amber Holcomb was up next. She did Love on Top by Beyonce, and she was looking cute and fresh and giving us a little strut on the stage. Always love the way she walks with them long legs, and this is a really good song in her voice. I just wish she had a little more bite in the beginning, and she's so fresh and young. I think like J Hood, you know, when she was on the show, she needs to like have some diva training to really bring out her best qualities on stage. Maybe an alter ego with a little more attitude would really, you know, bring that special quality that she needs to compete with, say, Candice. Because Candice has that special, you know, and she needs to really come with a little more than just that sweet hometown girl thing. She needs to give us some attitude and some fierceness, you know, and really show off what her voice can do. Mariah said not her favorite vocal, but she was loving seeing the star power that's growing within her. Keith said he loved it and she chooses great songs for herself. Nikki said Beyonce better look out. Come on, Nikki. Lazaro Arbos did Angels by Robbie Williams, and it was hard to listen to Lazaro coming after such a great vocal performance. I mean, it was like night and day. He tried to bring us a little flavor in the higher parts of the song, but it just didn't feel authentic. He is really out of his game, you know, and he knows he's out of his element, I think, and you can just see it in his body language. Nikki was shooting eye daggers at him when he, oh my God, with his finish, she was like, Keith said there's an element in his tone that he likes, and Nikki said what he said. Randy said slightly better than the last song, but said the girls are so good this season that he just really can't compete. Mariah said it was a better range for him, and then seemed at a loss for words. Clarkson and Scotty McCreery will be performing tomorrow night on the Elimination Show. Looking forward to that, especially Clarkson. Let me know down in the comments if you are looking forward and what you hope she sings tomorrow night. Next we had Kree Harrison. She did Help Me Make It Through the Night by Kristofferson, and this was a great choice for Kree's voice and style. It could certainly be a single from her album. She kept it simple and just sang through the lyrics and felt the story. A really pretty understated performance. Nikki gave props to the musicians and compared her to Janelle again. Randy called her a natural singer and said he loved the ease with which she sang it. Mariah said she sang it the way it should be sung. Keith said it was a buckle polisher and predicted she will become a member of the Grande Ole Opry. Janelle Arthur was up next with The Dance by Garth Brooks, and she was a lot more emotionally connected to this song, and her voice sounded good with that great country twang which shows through when she's comfortable. Her and Kree used the same background musicians, and they really created a great sound, and she just rolled the music very well for this. Randy said she did a good job, but it wasn't her best. Mariah said she felt like there was truth to the song. Keith said it would have been a great song for her to do with just guitar. And Nikki said this was a lot better than her first performance, and she stepped it up vocally, but it wasn't enough to get a leg up with the other girls tonight. And finally, last but definitely not least, we had Candice Glover. She did Love Song by The Cure originally and covered by Adele, which is probably the version she was working off of. And I wrote, make sure y'all check out my crazy cover of this song on my It's Our Anton channel. I'll post it down a link, and I might post a link right here on that you can click on and open up another window. But I wrote that before Kris sang. Let me tell you, I'm almost embarrassed to even tell y'all to go check it out, but I ain't too embarrassed, okay? Make sure you check it out. But Candice blew it out of the water with all her little melodic gymnastics, but also infused with passion and emotion. It was like a torch song. It was so beautiful, and such just the way she just strung together everything. I was living and loving this performance. She had the crowd going crazy, and the judges were ready to throw their shoes at her, because they were up there like, gotta sing, gotta sing. You couldn't help get invested in this. A virtuoso performance, I wrote. All the judges stood, and Keith even bowed down to her, while Mariah walked up and showered her with glitter. Can't say enough about this. I also wrote on Twitter that she finally had her Fantasia Summertime moment. She was so involved that afterwards she was emotional, and she was still crying while they were giving critiques, and at the end of the show she still had tears in her eyes. Really connected with this. Randy said one of the greatest performances in the history of Idol. And I thought it was just me, right? When I heard some demonic spasm while she was performing, I thought it was my TV or something was going crazy, so I didn't really take note of it. But then I was on Twitter, and people were like, you know, talking about, oh, you know, this happened and that happened while Candice was performing. I was like, yeah, I noticed that, but I was like, I thought maybe there's something going on with my TV, or, you know, maybe some, you know how sometimes the sound waves and stuff come in and mess with you and stuff, and you're listening to something. That's what I thought it was, but it wasn't. It was something going on, and people were tweeting about it. Okay, this is Robert Anton, robertantonnyc.com. I hope that you enjoyed the commentary tonight. If you're not seeing by the voice commentaries from the last 2 days, please go back and check those out if you also watch the voice, and continue to help support a brother over here. Thanks so much. I hope this isn't too long. Love you guys so much. Make sure that you put stuck around down in the comments if you stuck around to the end. I appreciate you so much. I'm out. Peace.